is all about. We start with the Volkswagen Challenge, and in this championship, things are really starting to heat up, particularly in Class A, as a whole bunch of new contenders arrived here this weekend to take on the usuals. In Class B, it's going to be a non-stop action between Nathan, Clark and Wood, and down in Class C, the return of Lyle Ramsey has definitely got a lot of cars worried. Looks like everybody's ready to rock and roll now for heat number 1. It's going to be a very, very tricky heat to do because 50 cars are on the grid and they're all going to be starting only a couple of seconds apart. As we get off the line, it's Atkinson who's on pole position and he heads down towards turn 1, Crowthorne corner, with James Hurley alongside him. A good start there from Adrian Wood, who was also on pole, and Lyle Ramsey starts on pole as we go on board with him in the Ramsey Racing Polo. Great start from him as he heads off, and you can see not bettered by anybody by the time they get to the kink, heading down towards Crowthorne. The Class B's are already there, and Woody has got the drop on both Nick Clark and Nathan, and the rest of the Class B's starting to sort themselves out. Here comes Ramsey, leading things out. On the inside come the two Roos boys. On the outside it's Savage and Mac, and in the middle there is the Bat Lady in the Golf 2 Jumbo. Not in her Golf 1 like she normally is, so a little bit of work there to do for Elke van Vletter, and that championship's still wide open in terms of Class C. Good start here from Ramsey. He gets a little bit sideways, heading up into Barbecue. And now up onto the back straight, heading towards Sunset. Great start at the front end as well. You can see already some action there with big pressure being applied onto the back end of Ian Stevenson. Stevenson soaking it up as we go on board here with Tasman Pepper. And Pepper putting the pressure on. You can see how hard she's working as they go through the S's, sitting down in about 8th place. Not a great start here from Tassie, but remember, she had to start at the back of the grid and make her way through the field. So it's going to be ticking them off one by one. Harry Potter is definitely got the magic back again and now leads things out as they go up into the top of Leeuwkop for the first time. Great move there from Baldy Mike. He just squeezes out the King Price insurance car of Wayne Krause and brings Tasman along for the ride. Here comes the battle for Class B's. Nick Clark putting the pressure onto the Laserfish car there of Adrian Wood. We're on board with Wood. He's just adjusting the rearview mirror. He's not quite sure where the man behind him is. Nick Clark will be right on that bumper. And in fact, if you look in the rearview mirror, you might even get a glimpse of him as they go through a very, very fast sweep towards Crocodiles. Class A's already there, and Piazza Musa doing a great job, sitting comfortably in 4th place at the moment. No pressure being applied there. He's literally on his own but very shortly might be joined by the cars just behind him there of Monkeys and, of course, Ian Stevenson. Harry Potter's pulling a small margin, but Stian Kriel now has moved up into 2nd place and got ahead of Atkinson as they come to complete lap number 1. Move up the inside there. Looks like a little bit of change up as Dion Holiday feels the pressure from Andre De Lange. De Lange just trying to squeeze through there. Millie Stewart now, this is the onboard as they cross the line and complete another lap at Kyalami. What an awesome circuit, and the work that they've done here is just made for a circuit that is definitely going to have years and years of fantastic racing. As they head down onto the braking markers down in the Crowthorne, this is Class B again. Pressure being applied, and a little bit more than pressure. Some rubbing happening at the front end as Clark gives Adrian Wood a little tap to remind him that he's right there and looking for a way through. Nice battle there between Gavin Ross and Smallberger. It's a bit further back in the field, fighting for about 11th and 12th place on track. But nothing wrong with that as the rest of the field comes streaming through here. This is all the Class A competitors pushing hard, trying to close down on Creel, who's doing the best job he can to try and catch James Hurley. But Hurley just seems to have a slight edge over everybody this weekend, and Harry Potter's magic is certainly back. Here comes Class B. Watch out for a move here from Clark on the inside. Doesn't quite get enough drive to dive up the inside into Clubhouse corner. And Darren Nathan is right there with him, and we're on board. And Nathan's saying to him, come on, let's go. We've got to catch him. You can't afford to play around because right behind Darren Nathan, all of a sudden comes Jacques Smith. And Jacques Smith, even though he hasn't been a full-time contender this season, definitely knows how to get around this circuit and is certainly looking to be part of the hunt here at the front end of Class B. Hard on the brakes. Here comes Clark on the inside. This time he puts a bit more pressure. Nearly touches going in there into the triple apex at the top of Leeuwkop. Darren Nathan sitting waiting for a mistake between the two youngsters. Halfway through the field here in Class B, also some nice action. As you can see, Holiday still fighting with Callets and Gossman on his outside as they go out of the triple apex down the mine shaft. Elke van Vletter starting to put a little bit of pressure onto the back end there of Dale. And you can see just how hard things get with such a big field of cars. It's not going to be an easy day in the saddle, and you're going to have to work double time if you want to get to the front end of each of the respective categories here in the Comsol Volkswagen Challenge. Great shot as they come flying through the mine shaft and into the sweep. Further up the field, you can see here coming onto the braking markers, Leon Udendal under a bit of pressure from Michael Harris. He's trying to sneak through. Gossman got out of shape and takes out Holiday. Wow, Dion Holiday had nowhere to go there. Andy Gossman just caught the car, came right back across the track, and unfortunately there's a stricken car from Nathan's Motorsport on the exit of Cheetah Corner. Leaders go through Crowthorne right now. Steon Creel is certainly getting a little bit closer to James Hurley than what he has all race long, and Hurley will be concerned about that. In the background, you can see, unfortunately, Rory Atkinson has fallen off a little bit, but hasn't lost pace. He's still got a decent lap time, but if you start getting out of shape like that in the Comsol Volkswagen Polo, it's not going to work. And Atkinson will have to just get his lines a little bit smoother. Devin Piazzamusa having a great drive there in 4th place, as I mentioned earlier on, all by himself though. He just can't bridge the gap to get onto the front end and catch these first 3 cars that are just up the road from him. Coming out of Sunset into Clubhouse Corner. You can see Stevenson now starting to feel the pressure from the Lee Thompson Racing stable there. Mikey's and Pepper trying to work together and bridge the gap there to the car just ahead of them. Then it's Wayne Krause. We wait to see, there comes Ross and Smallberger, and then the Class B battle in full flight coming out of Sunset Corner. Looks like no changes there as Adrian Wood hangs on for now to keep out both Nathan and Nick Clark. Shark Smith's lost a little bit of ground to them. And then you can see just behind them, this is an awesome little battle. 44, that is, of course, Dion Holiday Jr. He's not been involved with Andre de Lange on his tail. And this man, Brad Hall, as we go on board with Hall, heading into the S's. Hellerman Titan Polo in full flight here into the S's, trying to close down on the front 2 here. And working hard at the wheel is Brad Pitt. Great job there from him. Here's a move on the inside for Class B's lead. Oh, it had to happen. It had to get physical. There's no doubt about it. They couldn't find a way through. Well, Nick Clark couldn't find a way through on Woody and eventually forced him through. I don't think Adrian Wood will be too happy about that because it was a little bit rougher than most times. But when I say that, in Class B, it's been pretty rough between these 3 drivers all season long. And remember, we've only got one more championship round to go at the final round on the 26th of November. So let's see how things are going to pan out here. Here we go, back to the battle. Brad Hall is closing in and starting to find a way onto the back end of De Lange. De Lange is on Holiday Jr. Jr. hanging on for dear life right now. Nice little 3-way battle for the mid-pack of Class B. Behind them, also an incredible little dice there. And it's all about Vaughan Edling, who's having a little bit of understeer problems. So is Francois Van Sale and Lindsay Kleur. Oh, locking up, under braking at the top end of the field. Is that Savage running wide? It looks like it is. Graham Savage getting it all out of shape at the top of Leeuwkop, onto the kiddie litter and eventually back onto the black stuff, but not the way you want to go up into Leeuwkop, losing oodles of ground up top there. That's a big, big pity for him. 23 in the mid-pack of Class C, also having a nice little run there, and I can tell you that Gareth Lack, only his first or second time out in the car, not too shabby at all, but things are now getting real. All of a sudden, the amount of cars that are on this track is starting to become a bit of a factor, and I think by the time the leaders get into this little race, they are certainly going to have their wits about them to try and find a way through. 66 is Pete Potgieter in a new car. And remember, Dion Holiday has taken over that Golf Racing car with the livery on the side. He's already parked it on the sideline, unfortunately, but the battle continues here between the 2 Class B contenders. I think Nathan will probably be sitting back going, let's see what these 2 oaks are going to get up to and make a plan after that. Side by side through there, and I wonder if Gary Van Heerden's watching this one, because those 2 were able to get through there side by side. Van Heerden in the engine Volkswagen Cup wasn't quite able to do that, coming together there with Trevor Bland. But yeah, a little bit further up the road, Tasman Pepper has got through on her teammate and is looking to get through on the boss man. Stevenson working that Comsol Polo, double time up the hill towards Leeuwkop. Tasman going to try a slightly different line. Watch for the late apex she tries to pull here as she comes very wide, tucks into the second part of that triple apex corner, and then tries to get the drive on the inside. We're heading onto the checkered flag here, so it's not a bad time to get things sorted out. Unfortunately, Wayne Masters parked on the sideline. There you can see Holiday also on the sideline. And it's Dion Creel out of shape in the last corner. This is going to be costly. Harry Potter is going to hang on for the win, just using the back markers to his advantage. Dion Creel tried to sneak through and find a way past. He spun it out 360 degrees, got back going again, but unfortunately has lost out second place to Rory Atkinson. And it looks like Adrian Wood is trying hard to hang on for the win here. He's found a way past Nick Clark. Look at this. They are 3 by 3 heading towards the line. It is going to be so close. Nathan going to try and hang on. Yes, he does. And he beats Clark to the line. Nathan timing it to perfection. No worries at all for Lyle Ramsey. He was all on his own in the first place of Class C. It's a confirmation of Class A in a great Comsol Challenge race there. James Hurley, Rory Atkinson and Steon Creel with Devin Piazzamusa still in 4th. Stevenson, Pepper, Mikey's and Krause your top 8. Darren Nathan took the win only just ahead of Nick Clark and Adrian Wood, with Jacques Smith in close attendance. Dion Holiday Jr., De Lange, Hall and Stewart your top 8 in Bs. In the C's, it was Ramsey who beat Lewin Roos to the line. Stuart Mack and Sean Krause had a nice battle, with Wouter Roos, Savage, Murray and Van Vletter making up the top 8 in Class C. straight into race number 2 now, and wow, it's going to be a bit of a tough one because the light has diminished dramatically, and they're going to be racing almost into nighttime. The cameras will be able to pick up the cars only for probably about a lap or so, but it's certainly going to be a lot more trickier in race number 2 now for all of our Comsol Volkswagen Challenge contenders. This time when we say lights out, we literally mean lights out. There are no more lights. Kyalami is in almost pitch blackness, and this race starts extremely late on the day's racing program. Getting underway and heading down towards Crowthorne Corner, Class A with a good start. And hold back on this shot so we can see Class B starting as well. It looks like it might be Darren Nathan who's got the most amount of work to do, having to start a little bit further back there in the field of Class Bs. Class C, Lau Ramsey will be looking for a double victory here. This is Crowthorne Corner, and look how awesome that is. Oh, they're just cars side by side, knocking, rubbing. It's Valdi Monkeys who's just pushing Ian Stevenson to the sideline there and trying to find a way through. They don't only have to fight each other, they're going to fight all the flying ants that are on the circuit as well, because it looks like it's going to be a really tough ask here for the Comsol Volkswagen Challenge contenders. Side by side, that'll definitely be Adrian Wood and taking on Nick Clark. Nick Clark might have just squeezed through there for the lead in Class B. Oh, we got one car without lights. That's going to be a massive problem, I think, and the COC might be having a look at that. Ramsey has not got the lead, and it looks like at the front end, Luan Roos just squeezed through to get the lead in Class C's. 3x3 into sunset. Well, the sun has set. There is no more sun. It's now Moonrise Corner. And as they go out of Moonrise, it is going to be absolute. Oh! Jacques Smith's on the inside. He's got it out of shape. He's parked it on the inside of Sunset Corner. He's going to get out the car as quickly as possible. That's not a bad idea. And get up on that wall. Because if anybody else comes through there and gets it wrong, we could have a problem. In fact, with that car stricken on the inside of Sunset, I think we may have a call for a red flag and maybe this race to be stopped completely. Right now, it's Dion Creel who leads out over Harry Potter. There you can see them going through Cheetah. Behind them, good start there from Rory Atkinson again in third place. Looking for a good overall here. But Dion Creel is just absolutely loving conditions. Pulling away slightly from Harry Potter and heading across the line. A complete lap number 1. Oh, another spinner. That's Atkinson. Atkinson has spun out in the final turn through Ingwe Corner. He got it all out of shape. And here comes Class B and the back end of Class A. They've already caught onto the back end of Class A. That's how quickly these cars have been closing in on each other. They come through there, fortunately all missing the stricken car on the inside. Yellow flags are out, and I think safety board, and probably going to be a red flag soon. There you go, red flag has been called for. And that's not a bad call there from the COC. Great job there, Kevin DeWitt, making sure that we get a safe day's racing all finished and sorted out. Right, we head into the final round of the championship with Darren Nathan taking the lead ahead of Nick Clark overall and in Class B. Rory Atkinson leads Class A's, but he's third place overall with Valdi Monkeys right behind him. And we caught up with Wayne Masters.
Well, not a newcomer. I've been a member since '93, and I've raced Challenge over the last 23 years, and off and on. But I've been to touring cars and Group N, and always come back to the Challenge because of the camaraderie and the good rules and good competition. And it's not as serious as maybe some of the national series, but the guys are getting quite serious now. But we have good fun, and everybody shakes their hands afterwards of the race.
Great drive from Darren Nathan to take the lead in this championship.
Yeah, look, race one was pretty uneventful for me until the last corner. We've been battling with pace this weekend for some other strange reason. The car turns well, it stops well, but I seem to be losing it down the straights. Be that as it may, Clark and Wood scrapped for pretty much most of the race, and while they were scrapping, I managed to stay with them. Then on the last lap at the bowl, Wood rode into Clark pretty hard, pushed them both off. I then managed to run up next to Wood, going through turn 13, got to turn 14 together, and then ran around turn 14 and managed to get up to the line just ahead of Clark by almost a thousandth or so, and yeah, I managed to take the victory.
Busy work for Greg Gossman in the mid-pack of Class C.
Race one was a bit tough. We're in a new car, a lot of cars, awesome track, but yeah, race one was good. Just had a bit of few issues here and there, but otherwise all well, good clean racing. Race two had a good start. The dark obviously settled in a bit. I think a couple of the old bullies couldn't see anymore, so yeah, it made it a bit difficult trying to get past Captain Dick. But yes, otherwise it was also good, clean fun until the red flag, unfortunately. I hope the guys are alright. But yeah, no, it was good, clean fun, and I just pity about the dark that came out.